Imagine this. You're standing at the airport gate, ticket in hand, ready to board your flight. You've done everything right. Your documents are in order, your ID is valid. But suddenly, you're pulled aside. They're not sure you belong. Not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are. This is Major Sarah Thompson's story, and what happens next is going to leave you speechless. Sarah Thompson moved through the bustling airport with quiet determination. Dressed simply in a black leather jacket, white t-shirt, and dark jeans, she blended into the crowd, just another traveler among many. Her duffel bag rested comfortably on her shoulder as she walked toward her gate. She wasn't just another traveler, though. Sarah was a major in the United States Air Force, heading to an important summit where she'd speak about diversity in the armed forces, a topic she lived every day. As one of the few black women to reach her rank, her experiences carried weight. This speech wasn't just another assignment, it was a mission. But today, Sarah wasn't wearing her uniform. She had decided to keep things low-key. She knew what wearing the insignia on her chest often invited, either admiration or doubt. Today, she didn't want either. She just wanted to make her flight, deliver her speech, and change some minds. The airport was alive with the chaos of travelers, families rushing to make their flights, vacationers lugging bright suitcases, and business people glued to their phones. Sarah navigated it all with ease. After passing through security, she arrived early at her gate, finding a seat near the boarding area. The announcement for boarding echoed over the intercom. Sarah stood, ticket in hand, and joined the first-class line. She was focused, mentally rehearsing the key points of her speech. The summit was her chance to challenge the senior leaders of the military to see leadership differently, to embrace the necessity of inclusion. As she approached the gate agent, the woman's eyes scanned Sarah's ticket, then shifted upward. There was a hesitation, a flicker of doubt in her gaze. "Excuse me, ma'am," the agent said, her tone polite but edged with skepticism. "Are you sure this is the right line? First-class passengers only." Sarah paused, a flicker of frustration crossing her face. She had heard this before, in different words, in different places. Staying calm, she replied, "Yes, I'm sure. Here's my ticket." The agent looked at it, frowning slightly as though something didn't add up. "I'll need to see your ID," she said. Sarah handed it over, keeping her face neutral, even as irritation simmered beneath the surface. She knew what this was. She had seen the same hesitation, the same skepticism, countless times before. The gate agent scrutinized her ID, flipping it over, staring at it longer than necessary. Sarah stood tall, refusing to let the doubt rattle her. Finally, the agent handed it back, but said, "I'll need to check with my supervisor." Sarah's jaw tightened, but she nodded. She watched as the agent walked away, speaking in hushed tones with a colleague. Fragments of their conversation reached her ears. "Not sure, need to verify, doesn't look right." The seconds dragged into minutes. Sarah checked her watch. Boarding time was slipping away, and frustration bubbled up. Her mind raced. She had planned for everything at the summit, statistics, strategies, even counter-arguments, but not for this. Not for another moment of proving herself. She glanced around and saw other passengers staring. Some were curious, others seemed judgmental. She heard a whisper, "What's the holdup? She looks mad." The weight of their eyes pressed on her, but she kept her composure. The gate agent returned, now accompanied by a security officer. "Ma'am," the officer said, "we need to confirm some details. Can I see your ID again?" Sarah handed it over without a word, her patience wearing thin. The officer examined it, his eyes narrowing slightly. "You're a major?" he asked, skepticism clear in his voice. "Yes," Sarah replied, her tone firm. "Major Sarah Thompson, United States Air Force. I'm heading to a military summit. Is there a problem?" The gate agent interjected, her voice tinged with condescension. "It's just unusual, someone like you in first class." Sarah froze. There it was, the unspoken assumption made explicit. Her appearance, her civilian clothes, her very presence, it didn't fit their narrative of what a major should look like. She inhaled deeply, steadying herself. "Someone like me?" she said, her voice calm but cutting. "What exactly do you mean by that?" The gate agent faltered, glancing nervously at the officer. "We just have to be careful, with the current climate, you understand." Sarah's patience snapped. "Careful of what? My ID is valid. My ticket is valid. What else do you need? Or is it just that I don't look the way you expect a major to look? Because I'll tell you this, I've earned my place here, and I don't owe you or anyone else an explanation." The tension in the air was thick. Other passengers whispered among themselves, some even recording the exchange on their phones. Sarah stood firm, her expression unyielding. The security officer shifted uncomfortably. He handed her ID back, avoiding her gaze. "I apologize, ma'am. You're clear to board." Sarah took her ID and ticket without a word, her composure intact. As she walked down the jet bridge, she felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. Not just this moment, but all the others like it. The doubt, the second guessing, the constant need to prove herself. It was exhausting. But as she took her seat in first class and settled her bag, she reminded herself why she was here. This wasn't just about her. It was about changing perceptions, breaking barriers, and ensuring that the next person who looked like her wouldn't have to face the same fight. The plane began to taxi, and Sarah gazed out the window, her mind already shifting back to her speech. She wasn't just a passenger on this flight. She was a trailblazer on a mission, and nothing, not even this, could stop her. Major Sarah Thompson didn't just board a plane that day. She carried with her the weight of countless battles fought, not just in war zones, but in spaces where she wasn't seen or accepted. Her story isn't just about one moment at an airport. It's about resilience, courage, and the power to change the world. What would you do in her shoes? Would you stand your ground? Or let the doubts of others define you? Your journey might look different, but the message is the same. Never let anyone tell you that you don't belong. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their inner strength. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more empowering content.